What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT. Huge thank you to Ben over at Safford Hyundai of Leesburg, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Santa Cruz or any Hyundai product, I'll be sure to have Ben's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is an absolutely gorgeous day outside here today. It is a little bit breezy though, so I did want to apologize in advance if there was any wind noise in this video. There really shouldn't be. I am trying my best. I got a windsock on the camera, but there may be wind noise every now and then, so just wanted to let you guys know about that. So like usual, first we're going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT. And this particular one has been painted in the optional $450 sage gray, which looks more like a green in the direct sunlight. And honestly, I would put this paint color on any vehicle, whether it was a Porsche, a Honda Ridgeline, a GMC Sierra, doesn't matter. This paint color is actually very, very nice, and I really do like it. But a couple things that I wanted to say at the beginning of this video is that basically for 2024, the XRT replaces the SEL premium trim level, and basically the XRT trim level gives you the tech and the utilitarian features all in one. So essentially what you get with the XRT are wider fender flares, adaptive cruise control, a leather wrapped steering wheel, you get the bigger infotainment screen, as well as these XRT specific wheels, as well as a couple other things. But with that stuff said, basically I'm going to start with the headlights, then I'm going to work my way down and around into the back end of the Santa Cruz. So as standard with the XRT trim level, you get projector by LED headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. But now taking a step back and to the left, let's take in the entire front end of the Santa Cruz XRT. So you may be able to tell that you do get a dark chrome with a satin black mix for your front grille. So essentially you get a dark chrome front grille, but then you get a satin black backing. You have your Hyundai logo located at the center that is also in a dark chrome color. And then coming down just a little bit more, you get a dark chrome trim piece beneath your grille. So basically this area right here, it's kind of like a U-shaped trim piece, is also in dark chrome. And then coming all the way down, you basically get a satin black lower fascia. So all of this down here is all satin black. You can see you got your lower grille right there. And then last but not least, with the XRT, you get 8.6 inches of ground clearance, which is plenty capable, and you can honestly attack pretty much any sort of terrain, maybe a little bit of light off-roading and stuff like that. And this thing will definitely go through some snow with the all-wheel drive system. But like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, with the XRT trim level, you get these wider satin black fender flares. That's what they look like right there. Then you have your reflector there. And then I did want to show you is that you can pop this piece off on all four of your fender flares. And I saw online that you can actually put a GoPro mount right there. So that would be pretty cool if you were doing some off-roading or stuff like that. So basically pop that off, stick something back in, and you can attach your GoPro to it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Somebody also said this was a jacking point, but I don't see how that would be the case when you have the jacking points on your pinch welds. So I don't think that's the case, but anyways, a nice little Hyundai Santa Cruz Easter egg right there. And then coming down just a little bit again, these are the XRT specific wheels, and they are an 18-inch satin black with machine accent wheel, and they are wrapped in 245/60 Kumho Krugen HP 71 tires. I'll give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires as best that I can here real quick. That is what the tires look like. And then last but not least, you also get this orange accent center cap. That is what that looks like. Kind of gives it a little bit of color to all of the wheels. And I actually do like that orange accent color trim piece, or excuse me, center cap, because when you step back, it looks pretty cool. Anyways, coming down the side, you guys do get satin black mirrors with integrated turn signals as standard. Also as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the left-hand side of your driver's side mirror, and on the right-hand side of your passenger side mirror over there, about right there. And then stepping back, this is what the side profile of the Santa Cruz looks like. It's one thing that was kind of funny to me is that on the Hyundai website, they actually classify this as an SUV and not a light duty truck. Like, it doesn't say truck. You have to go to SUVs in order to find the Santa Cruz. So they consider this an SUV, which is kind of funny. But anyways, starting at the top, you have your power sunroof, which comes standard with this trim level. You also get these satin black roof rails as well as satin black window trim. You also get satin black door handles with keyless access. And then coming down to the sides of, or the bottoms of your passenger doors, first you get this satin black cladding up top here, and it says Santa Fe on the back two doors. And then all the way at the bottom, you also get some more satin black door cladding. And then also with the XRT trim level, you get these side steps down here as well as the bed rails on your bedsides up top there. So that's what that looks like. One thing about these side steps is that you kind of do have to step out a little bit more than you normally would to, you know, kind of avoid these. Let's say if these were muddy, because if you did step out like you normally would on a vehicle and you dragged here and it was muddy, it might get like the back of your jeans dirty or something like that. So just keep in mind, you do have to step out a little bit further with these side steps here. They're kind of like the hoop steps, as you can see there. And then coming down the side, you can see you get some satin black trim, you get your third brake light up top there. You also get a gloss black shark fin antenna. You have your manual sliding rear window, and this rear window also includes a defroster. This is your fuel door. You do not get a capless filler neck, so you still have to you know, twist that off right down in there. Now I'm going to give you a rear 3/4 shot of this thing from this perspective. And then one thing that I thought was, you know, pretty cool, but also could be a hindrance to some who would use the bed, is that you get this integrated tonneau cover as standard. So all you have to do is basically push this forwards, and then you can slide that all the way back in. So you can see it does hinder, you know, your bed space a little bit because you have that piece right there. I'm sure you can take this out. I'm not 100% sure if you can take it out, but I would assume that you could take it out. It would make sense to me that you could take it out. But anyways, coming back just a little bit more, you can see you do get LED taillights with this vehicle as standard. And then working my way to the center of the tailgate, you get a dark chrome tailgate handle as standard with the XRT. And then you also have your backup camera right there as well. Coming down just a little bit more, the dealer tag is stuck to a magnet. But then you get your XRT badge. Then you have your H-Track and your 2.5T badging on the right-hand side of your tailgate. The H-Track badge is basically just letting you know that you do get all-wheel drive. And then you also get the matte black tailgate lettering for your Santa Cruz lettering. That is what comes standard also with the XRT trim level. And then with all that stuff out of the way, coming back under here, you'll feel a little pad. If you press on that pad, the liftgate will drop and it goes at a nice speed down, so it's not just gonna thud. It's gonna come, you know, it is an assisted tailgate. And then taking a look in here, you get the track right there. You also get a track over there. Then you also get LED box lighting back here. You get a storage cubby on this side. Down in there, that's what that looks like. You also get a storage cubby on this side as well, except this one includes a 115 volt outlet. It is a household power outlet, and that is what that looks like down in there. Here's to give you a better view of that. Closing that back up, pretty easy to do, except I only have one hand at the moment, so it can be a little bit challenging with just one hand, so bear with me here for a second while I close this. That's closed back up. Then you get a tie down hook right here. You also get another tie down hook there as well as down here, down there, and one there as well. And then if you wanted to close that, you have this little strap right here. You kind of do have to close it with a little bit of force. And that is the tonneau cover closed back up. This is a composite bed. So basically the same bed that you would find in like a Honda Ridgeline. It's kind of like a bed liner type of material, but it's more like a plastic type of material. I think it's actually stronger than a bed liner type of material, because I have the same thing again in my Honda Ridgeline and it never had any issues with it. And then when you lift this thing up, very reminiscent of what you find in a Honda Ridgeline, except it's not quite as deep as the Ridgeline's area. But anyways, some underbed storage down here that is lockable, by the way. I would say you probably get, you know, 8 to 10 inches of depth down under there, and then you can also drain it as well. So you could maybe turn this into a cooler or something along those lines. So if you do any tailgating, you could, you know, again, use this as a cooler. And closing that back up, that kind of about does it for this area here. Again, you got your tailgate, pretty darn easy to close. And then coming down just a little bit, again, this is what the rear end of this vehicle looks like. You get a satin black rear bumper. You also get your side steps, or so your corner steps, excuse me, on your bumper. one on that side, and then you also get one on that side as well, making it a little bit easier to step in and out of the bed. You also get your backup lights right there. Right there, you get those 2 reflectors. A couple other things, you get a 7-pin connector down here. I think you can choose between a 7 and a 4-pin connector when you opt for the $450 tow hitch, which is what that is right there. And with the XRT and the $450 tow hitch, you get a max tow capacity of 5,000 pounds. I think that 5,000 pound max tow capacity for a little truck like this is very, very impressive. You can pull, you know, a relatively big sized boat, like a 21-foot center console, some side-by-sides, a couple jet skis. So, you know, this may not be considered a truck on Hyundai's website, but for a little truck, or SUV as Hyundai calls it, I think it is very, very capable. Again, I was very surprised to see that this thing had a 5,000 pound max tow capacity. Pleasantly surprised by that, because, you know, I would have expected maybe a 3,000, but when I saw 5,000 pounds, I was like, dang, that is actually really, really impressive. Let me know what your thoughts are on that tow capacity in the comment section down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder that makes 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 19 miles per gallon in the city, 27 miles per gallon on the highway for 22 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. And when I first got in this thing, I could kind of tell that it was a dual clutch. You know, if you've ever driven a vehicle with a dual clutch transmission, you can just kind of feel the engagement point. And I personally really like driving a dual clutch because it goes 1, 2, 3. It just shifts between gears seamlessly and very, very quickly at the same time. So I definitely enjoy driving a dual clutch vehicle. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. I put a lot of time into making these videos, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would just take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, let me know what you think of the Santa Cruz XRT. All those likes and comments look really good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across this oval right here. And now the vehicle is locked. But again, all you have to do, hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. A couple of the functions I wanted to show you on the digital key fob. You have your lock function, your unlock function. If you press and hold on that button right there, that is going to drop your tailgate. You also have your panic function and your remote start function. So to remote start the vehicle, you have to lock it and then press and hold on this. And the vehicle will fire up. But now let's take a look at what the driver's side door panel has to offer here on the XRT. So you can see all of this area up top here is basically all some satin black plastic. You get a gloss black trim piece here with some you know, silver trim on the top and the bottom of that. You get a silver door handle. You have your power side view mirror controls, unlocking your lock functions. You get automatic up and down windows in the front, but you do not get automatic up or down windows in the back. That button is to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a nicely padded armrest and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. And you also get a speaker there as well. Now, this is what your seats look like. So with the XRT, you get the black H-Tex upholstery. So this is what the upholstery looks like. You also get heated front seats as standard with this vehicle, as well as a power driver seat with power lumbar. So you get two-way power lumbar right there. And again, this is what the seats look like. And now, stepping on into the interior, this is what the interior looks like on this vehicle. Again, you get keyless access. That also means you get push button start. So all you have to do is have your key fob in the interior, push your foot down on the brake, and then push to start. And then the vehicle will turn on. But now I'm going to close this door here. And basically, I'm going to walk you throughout the interior. So I'm going to turn this AC system off first. And there were a couple of things that I wanted to go over here kind of at the beginning of this video, basically highlighting what you get with the XRT trim level. So basically with the XRT, you get the leather wrapped steering wheel and the leather wrapped shift knob. You also get adaptive cruise control. You get this black H-Tex upholstery, as well as the 10.25 inch infotainment system. You get the digital key fob, adaptive cruise control, as well as a couple other things that I mentioned on the exterior earlier part of this video. But now walking you throughout to this interior, basically that is to dim the gauge cluster, that is to brighten the gauge cluster. Turning on that right there is going to turn your box lighting in the bed on or off. That is to turn your traction control system on or off. And then when you flip this down right here, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Basically, you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push it away from you, and then you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position, which is about, I guess, right there for me. And yeah, that is what that does there. Coming over to here, let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what your turn signal sounds like on the Santa Cruz. And then this is also your headlight control stock. So right now, all the way down is headlights off, headlights automatic, parking lights on, and then all the way up is headlights in the always on position, and it lets you know which lighting position you are on also on this screen. This is also a 10.25 inch digital gauge cluster. And then obviously this is also your high beam controls. So you also get high beam assist with this vehicle, and it lets you know that the automatic high beams are on right there. And then continuing on from there, again, as standard with this vehicle, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel. But on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your downshift paddle, and on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your upshift paddle. Working our way on down. Normally I do the horn thing, but there are some people walking over there and I don't want to startle them. So basically I'm going to go over here and then I'll work into the steering wheel. So pressing on that button right there is to speak to the vehicle. That's your volume control knob, or volume control. This is your tuning control. One thing I found interesting with Hyundai vehicles is that pushing down is to go forward on a song, pushing up is to go backwards on a song. Kind of interesting. And then you can also go throughout your preset radio stations there as well. This is basically your phone button. So when you click on that phone, it's going to bring you into your phone screen on your infotainment system. And then these two buttons here are configurable. So basically when you press that mode button, it's going to bring you into this screen. And basically you can set that button to whatever of any of these functions that you want. So either when you press that mode button, you could go into your Bluetooth audio, you could go into FM, you could go into Sirius XM, but basically you can choose from any of these things here, and it will bring you directly into that screen, but you only can choose from these ones on this. Same thing, same kind of premise for this star down here. Does the same thing, except it gives you some different options. So basically with that star, if you click on that, it will bring you into your radio stuff. It will bring you into your voice memo. It will bring you into any of these things here on this screen. So very cool thing. Now let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like on this vehicle. And then coming over to this side of the steering wheel, like I mentioned a little bit ago in the video, with the XRT, you get adaptive cruise control, or smart cruise control, as Hyundai calls it, as standard. So here are basically your smart cruise control and your driver assistance features. And then if you click on this button right here, it's basically going to bring you out throughout this screen, which I'll get into here in a second. Same with this up and down and OK thing right here. So this, as well as this, are to control your screen. That is your windshield wiper control stock. You do not get rain sensing wipers with this vehicle. But yeah, that is that. Now I guess we should go throughout our screen. So again, this is a 10.25 inch digital gauge cluster, and I'm going to walk you throughout it now. So on the left hand side, you have your speedometer. On the right hand side, you have your tachometer. Down here, you have your fuel range stuff. This is the ambient exterior temperature. This is basically like your instant fuel economy. This is your average fuel economy. And then down here, you have your odometer. And then basically all of this stuff in the center of the screen you can change or configure with either this button here. So basically you have 4 different screens you can go throughout. You have this screen, this screen, this screen, and this screen. And on this screen you have your attention level stuff. And then if I click down one, you also have your driver assistance stuff. If I press and hold on the OK button, it will bring you into some of your driver assistance settings on this screen over here. So basically you can click on that and it's going to bring you into your forward assist stuff. If I click back on that, you go into your driver attention warning stuff. You can mess with your settings there. And then you have your lane safety and so on and so forth. And again, to get into this screen, all you had to do is be on this screen and then press and hold on this button right here, and that will bring you into that screen over there. But anyways, going into that second screen, you click that button right there, and then you can either see your digital speed, your drive information stuff, your refueling information, or your accumulated information. Personally, for me, this is the screen that I would leave it on. Clicking that one more time will bring you into your compass. Clicking that one more time, you have your tire pressure stuff. And then this is also a pretty cool screen. Basically, when you accelerate, it shows you, where the power is coming from and where the power is being put down, whether it be in mostly the front wheels or mostly the rear wheels. It's basically going to highlight more of this, the more that you not only floor the vehicle, but also, it's going to show you where the power is. So basically, is it going to be driving mostly in front wheel drive, mostly in rear wheel drive, or a split between the two? That is basically what that does there. Basically, again, this is the screen that I would leave my vehicle in. And then moving on from there, again, you get the push button, start button back there, hazard button up top here, 2 HVAC vents beneath that. And then this is the 10.25-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. For a 2024 vehicle, I would really like to see wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. But I guess it is what it is. It's like that across the Kia and the Hyundai lineup. But basically, this is your home screen. You get your navigation stuff subtly over here. I'm gonna back out of that, go back into the home screen. Then you have your date, your time, and then the music stuff down there. Swiping to the right, this is one of your other home screens. You can see your phone stuff, HD radio data, which basically will show you like a meteorology stuff. You can see your Doppler radar. I think that is pretty cool. Back out of that, you can see all of these different things. You can bring your climate control throughout the screen as well. One thing that I really like though about this screen is that you can go into your settings over here, and let's say, hypothetically you wanted to go into, your driver assistance stuff. All you have to do is click on this magnifying glass, and then you would type in, driver assistance stuff, and it would bring up your driver assistance settings. So it makes it very, very easy, to navigate throughout this screen just by searching up what you need to look for. So I definitely appreciate that search function. Then you get your time, and then you have your date over there as well. This is your driver profile. Right now I am, I guess, driver 1. And then, yeah, that's kind of about it for that screen. You also have your user's manual on there. But really, other than that, that kind of about does it for the screen. Again, you get the built-in navigation stuff there. This is like your point of interest stuff, and so on and so forth. Coming down just a little bit, basically you have all of these physical controls down here, but they're also kind of like a touchscreen thing. But basically, this is to turn the screen on or off. Touch anywhere on the screen, or touch that button again, and the screen will turn back on. And then you have your volume controls. This is going to bring you into your map stuff. This is going to bring you into your point of interest stuff. Again, you can set this star to any of these things. So when you click that star, it might bring you into your Bluetooth audio, your phone projection, your phone, Blue Link, quiet mode. You can turn the display on or off by the push of that button. So again, this is another configurable button, but you may notice it is a second star, but this star is not filled in. This star is filled in. So yeah, and then you have your tuning controls here. This is going to bring up your radio stuff, which I'm going to turn down now because I don't want to get a copyright strike. This is going to bring you into your media stuff, basically my phone. And then this is going to bring you into your setup screen, basically your different settings. And then that's kind of about it for that screen. You get your home button up top there. Coming down just a little bit more, you get dual zone climate control as standard with this vehicle. This is what the climate control screen looks like when it is on. And then you have your physical controls off button. Now, one thing though is that this is all piano black. So it kind of does get dirty rather easily. However, let's say you turn the vehicle off, basically take a microfiber rag, put some O&R on it. I'll put what O&R is on screen right now, and basically just wipe that screen off. It'll make it it makes it very, very easy to clean, and then just wipe it with a dry microfiber and it looks brand new again. But yeah, these can get pretty fingerprinty rather quickly. Coming down just a little bit more, you get a USB-C port. Opening this up, you get a 12-volt power outlet. That lets you know if your wireless charging pad is on or not. And then you also get another USB-A port. Again, you get a wireless charging pad as standard with this vehicle. That's an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it kind of fits down in there. And you can see now the phone is charging, and it lets you know that it is charging when that is lit up in amber. Then you get some storage space over there. 2 cup holders. This is your transmission shifter. It is leather wrapped. If you wanted to go into manual mode, you have to go into drive and then flip this over to the left, and now you can control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, or you can push forward to upshift or down to downshift, and that is what that does there. Coming over to here, this is your drive mode selector. So you have a couple different drive modes. You have snow, smart, sport, and normal. You can see the gauge cluster shifts colors and themes. So now it's like a carbon fiber tachometer, a carbon fiber speedometer over there. And then you have your smart mode, your snow mode. Basically, it looks cool in sport mode. So I'm going to leave it in sport mode because I kind of like the way that that looks. And then you also have your center like diff lock right there. So when you click on that, it'll let you know that it is locked up top there. And then you have your electronic parking brake here. You have hill descent control. This is going to pop up your backup camera with the guidance lines. And then this is your auto hold feature. Basically, when you're stuck in traffic and you're tired of holding your foot down on your brake by yourself, when you turn that button on, basically the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. Moving on from there, again, like I mentioned, you get heated front seats as standard with 3 levels of adjustability. So you have your heated seat buttons right here. Again, both get 3 levels of adjustability. Then you get a nicely padded armrest. Clicking on this button right here will open up the armrest. There is no connectivity down in there, but I would say you probably have 10 inches of depth down in there to set some stuff. And yeah, that's it for down in there. Moving over to here, you do not get a lockable lower glove box, but you get quite a bit of storage space in your glove box. Right now your owner's manual is in there, and you can see you can fit the other necessities, you know, like your napkins, your straws, your snacks and stuff like that will also fit down in that glove box as well. Also, as standard with this vehicle, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror. This is your blue link stuff. This is your SOS stuff. Then that is to turn on all the interior dome lights, as you can see right now. Then you can turn on these lights individually. All of the lights in here, by the way, are all LED. And then this right here is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. Also, you get a power sunroof with this vehicle, and it does tilt and slide. I'll show you what it looks like when it is opened from the exterior's perspective right now. And then I'll also show you what it looks like from the interior's perspective. So when it is slid, that's how far it goes back. And then I'm going to close that back up. That's the speed that it closes. And then push up, and then that is going to tilt it. Push forward, and then that is going to close it right back up. And then moving from there, let's take a look at our visor. You get a massive vanity mirror, and then you have to turn the vanity lights on by yourself. I do wish those lights were LED, but I really don't think that's that big of an issue. And then you can slide that closed. And then you get a little clip here. You can set any little paper product like registration or something like that. And then your visors do slide forwards and backwards dependent on where the light is, sunlight for that matter. OPU panel over here. You get an OPU panel for the passenger as well. And then this is what the passenger side looks like. And that kind of about does it for what we got going on here in these front seats. So a couple things that I wanted to go over is that basically with this vehicle, as standard, you get the wireless charging pad, you get the sunroof, you get adaptive cruise control, you get the digital key fob, you get the auto dimming rearview mirror, you get the heated front seats, the remote start system, as well as a couple other things. And then moving on from there, really, I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the couple optional features like the floor mats, the first aid kit, the cargo net, tow hitch and stuff like that. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT is spec'd is $42,460. Let me know what your opinion is on that price in the comments section down below. One thing I really like about this vehicle is that it rides like an SUV. It drives like an SUV. You could park it like an SUV lengthwise and size-wise, but then you can throw some stuff in the back, in the bed, and then you can also pull a 5,000-pound trailer. So I think it is very, very capable for what it is. But I do want to show you what we got going on in these rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So this is what the door panel looks like back here. Again, very kind of basic. You don't get a padded armrest, but you do get an armrest. Again, you do not get automatic up or down windows in the back. You get a cup holder there, no storage space, and a spot, or a speaker, excuse me. This is what the rear seats look like. You can pull on this strap right here, and you can lift up on the rear seats, and then you get some partition storage space down in there. And then if you wanted to close that back up, you pull back up on that, and the seats will drop back down. And then moving into these seats, I am 5'9", and I am adjusted behind myself. I still probably have, you know, 3 or 4 inches of knee room and leg room. I also have some like stuff down here that I can move, and we can get a better test of that. So yeah, probably about 3 or 4 inches of leg room. Here's another view of my knee and leg room. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. You get an OPU panel, a spot you could set your dry cleaning. You get your dome light, but you only get an OPU panel on that side. You don't get a spot you can set your dry cleaning on that side. And then you also do not get a center fold down armrest. And then you also get a manual sliding rear window back here. And that kind of about does it. Actually, I guess I can talk about headroom. I am 5'9", again, probably 5'6" inches of headroom. Excuse me, 5'6" inches of headroom. There's a better view of that. So headroom, not an issue. Legroom, if you're 6'3", probably not going to be too comfortable back here, but it'll get the job done, and you can do it. But really, that kind of about does it for what we got going on here in the interior of this vehicle. So, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Santa Cruz XRT. So, I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So, I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, and now on to the driving portion of the review. And I wanted to start my video here because this road kind of stinks, and it's very bumpy. However, this soaks up the bumps very, very well. Like, we got a speed bump coming up right here, and it goes over these, like, literally, these are like the really steep speed bumps, and it soaks them up very, very nicely. Yes, I understand we have low fuel. There's also a lot of potholes and stuff, and it really just soaks up the bumps very, very well. I was actually, like, pleasantly surprised, you know, by how well this thing rides. And, you know, that's where, you know, this isn't necessarily a real truck. Like, the Honda Ridgeline is called a NART, not a real truck, and that's kind of the same thing here. But, you know, with this not being a real truck, it makes it handle and drive a heck of a lot better than even a half-ton truck would, like an F-150 or a Silverado 1500, a Ram 1500. You know, those trucks, they do ride very nicely, but you can't compete with something that rides like an SUV. You know what I'm saying? And that's how this rides. So here's a little acceleration. I think this is also going to be quicker than a lot of people expect as well. Transmission is very snappy, and that's what you get with the dual clutch. It just shifts between gears very, very quickly, and you can tell, like, when you first, you know, are setting off, you can tell that it's a dual clutch. You can feel the engagement, but that is something that I personally like, and that's something that I enjoy when I drive vehicles with a dual clutch transmission. Also, brakes are great, handling is great, handling test. There is a little bit of body roll, which is to be expected. But yeah, I mean, you know, this video is going to be a mix of, you know, neighborhood driving like we're driving right now. It's going to be a mix of a little bit of highway, and we're just going to see how it kind of behaves in all sorts of scenarios. So far, you know, low speeds, it does well. I believe if I put it into sport mode, it would, you know, sharpen the throttle response a little bit and hold on to gears a little bit longer. So if you're feeling a little frisky, you can put it in sport mode, you can put it into manual mode, and then you can, you know, control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters and have a little bit more fun than if you were just in normal mode, which is what I am in right now. But man, this thing cruises very nicely. Sound system is all right. I do wish the sound system was a little bit better. You know, it's okay. It gets the job done. You can adjust the settings, and you can probably make it sound a little bit better. But I would like a little bit better of a sound system. Another gripe that I do have is that I do wish that this had wireless Apple CarPlay and or wireless Android Auto connectivity, which it doesn't, which is kind of unfortunate. And for a 2024 model year vehicle, I would have liked to see that. But anyways, other than that, I mean, not that many gripes. I know the styling is subjective. Some people are going to like it and some people are not going to like it. It's just, you know, what you personally appreciate and what you like styling wise. And for me, I don't love it, I don't hate it. I'm somewhere in between. I have a Honda Ridgeline, so what can I say? Here's an acceleration. It is respectably quick. Like, it really is. It's got a little bit of respectable power to it, and it feels quick as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it into sport mode. I could definitely feel, I felt like the steering, you know, tightened up a little bit, and that could have been, you know, placebo, but it felt like the steering wheel, you know, tightened up on me a little bit. But let's see what this thing sounds like on a full throttle pull to about 60-65 miles per hour starting now. I'm telling you guys, this thing has respectable power. You put it back into normal mode, RPMs drop, and it goes back to normal. Here's what it sounds like at about 65. pretty well insulated from the outside world. It's pretty quiet for 70 miles an hour. Also, it drives very, very well. I'm telling you, this thing drives exactly like an SUV, which is a good thing. And I know a lot of truck guys hate on, you know, these trucks for that, like this and the Honda Ridgeline. But the reality is, for those who don't really need a truck for truck things, but they still like to throw stuff in the bed, they like to, you know, haul their boat, they like to haul their side-by-sides, this is a great vehicle for those kinds of people. You know, people who don't haul all the time, people who don't have a 7,000 pound boat, but maybe they have a 5,000 pound boat between the boat and the trailer. And you still like to throw stuff in the bed, but you don't need a bigger truck. You don't, you know, want the cumbersome half-ton truck, you know, pull into parking spots because you work in a city. And that's where this comes in. It's very, very easy to park. It's very easy to drive. It drives like an SUV, so it drives very smooth. So this is the vehicle for those kinds of people. The braking is also better on this. You know, the stability at speed is better than this. You know, you can swerve in this better, and it's going to handle it better than, you know, a half-ton pickup. You know what I mean? It's just lower to the ground, but it still has 8.6 inches of ground clearance, so it's got a respectable amount in that sense. You know, this will go through some snow. You know, and really, when it comes down to it, 8.6 inches of ground clearance is plenty. I'm telling you, man, the torque on this thing, you can feel it's a very punchy little engine here. But, you know, again, if you live in a northeastern climate, I love the power between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM. I mean, it really gets to go, and that's where you feel that 311 pound-feet of torque. But anyway, I keep getting distracted. If you need to go through snow and you don't feel comfortable with the ground clearance, literally all you have to do, put some tires on this, and this thing will go through practically anything. Not necessarily anything, but it'll go through more than you would expect it to, especially with the all-wheel drive system. Handles well, drives very well. Power-wise, I think it's got just the right amount of power. It's got great fuel economy in the city and on the highway. So, you know, it's got a lot of things going for it. It's got a very capable tow capacity at 5,000 pounds. It's got 8.6 inches of ground clearance. It drives very smoothly on the highway. It's efficient. It's quick around town. Now, when you get it up on the highway, you know, it's not the quickest thing that you've ever driven, but it's, you know, respectably quick, respectably fast on the highway. It handles well. It goes over bumps well. It's going to cruise better than a truck will. The only gripes that I really have are the sound system and the lack of wireless Apple CarPlay. Other than that, I mean, it's very comfortable seating position wise, and again, good power around town and stuff. So overall, this is a really nice little truck. If you're interested in a Santa Cruz, I suggest you go out and test drive one. You know, it doesn't mean you got to buy one, but you can at least see yourself, you know, if you can drive one of these, or if you're comfortable in it, because I think you will be. And I think this will be surprisingly good for a lot of people who have driven half-ton trucks but don't necessarily need a half-ton anymore, and they're looking for something a little bit smaller, a little bit more efficient. I'm telling you, go out and test drive one. Again, it doesn't mean you have to buy it, but I think you'll be pleasantly surprised behind the wheel of this thing. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. So if you enjoyed this video in any sort of capacity, again, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this vehicle, and hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.